Okay, part 11. This is the analysis of the audio between Valtteri Bottas and his race engineer in those last 5 laps of Abu Dhabi 2021. So as you can see, if you are new to the channel or if you've not seen any parts of this series before, I have produced these black thumbnails which evidence what each of the interactions were between each of those drivers and their race engineer in those last 5 laps of Abu Dhabi 2021. And then alongside each one is the white thumbnail, which is my breakdown of that analysis. So if you just want to hear the uninterrupted audio, click on the black thumbnail. But if you actually want to understand what is actually going on, click on the white thumbnail. Many people don't even understand the rules because you've been lied to about the rules of the sport by the sport. You need to start asking, why would they do that? Now you can accuse me of being a conspiracy theorist, but rules are rules, and there's a simple meaning and a simple reasoning. And if you've got the time to watch the Alonso video there, I suggest you do so. Now, the last one uploaded was the black thumbnail version of the Valtteri Bottas audio, and that's what we're going to go through now. But before we do, I want you to consider something. What did we hear from Mercedes during that race? Now we'll come to Lewis Hamilton's race audio, the interactions between Lewis Hamilton and his race engineer. But what did we hear from Toto Wolff during that race? We heard when it's like, and it's ending, wow, from Brundle when that safety car was brought in too early. Okay, you got Crofty going, oh, they're now saying lapped cars to overtake the safety car. So, Norris, Alonso, Ocon, Leclerc, and Vettel, and it's ending, wow! Right? And straight away we get Michael, old Toto Wolff, interjected. So that message, Michael, F1 TV had that queued up. Okay? That isn't live. They've got their editing studio where they're cutting from one bit of video feed to the next, to the next, to the next. They've got queued up audio that they're going to feed in. It's all about how they create the show. And they've got that queued up. And then we hear, no, Michael, no, this is so not right. Yeah, great impression of Toto there. Now, no, Michael, no, this is so not right. What does that tell you? Not a great deal, really. Okay? It alludes to the fact that something's not right, but it doesn't tell you what. Is that just an opinion? Oh, Toto Wolff thinks this isn't right. Oh, but Christian Horner thinks it's right. Oh, them two can argue about what's right and what's not right. No, that's not how it works. Okay? Why Toto? Why is it so not right? Well, quite simply, which is something you didn't say. You cannot go racing like this. The regulations dictate that you cannot start racing until you've carried out this mandatory procedure. So by attempting to do so now, that is completely invalid. And therefore, whatever happens from now is invalid. The race result will be declared as the running order behind the safety car. Now, if you've got a platform to be able to say that, and you know that some fuckery is taking place, it's your duty to say that. It is your duty to say that, to expose it to the world. It's then evidence that you have said that. It's down to them to try and erase that then. Or maybe they already have. Who knows? Who knows? But Toto Wolff could have quite easily said, Michael, you are not allowed to do that. The regulations dictate that you're not, and therefore resuming in this manner is completely invalid, and anything that takes place after resuming like this is invalid and will not stand. And if the world heard that, the world would maybe understand a bit more. But what did Toto say? No, Michael, no, this is so not right. What does that mean? Nothing. It just makes some people think that Toto doesn't think it's right. But let me know what you think in the comments section, whether you think it's right or whether it's not. It doesn't matter what you think. It's irrelevant what you think. It's about what is. And it's not okay. And there's reasons why it's not okay. Because you cannot go racing like that. The regulations are there for a purpose. It's not to get the lapped cars out of the way so that they don't interfere with the race between the leaders. It is entirely to restore sporting fairness to every single competitor in that race after that race has been neutralised due to having to deal with a safety incident. All of the gaps between all of the competitors get wiped out. Every previously built up advantage gets wiped out. And just because the leader has happened to make it past some of the cars that were further down the field, what has to happen is that reset condition has to apply to every car. Just because the leader has come by and lapped you, that doesn't eliminate you from the race. You're still racing, you're still part of that race. You still have the opportunity to compete with everybody, and you can still go on and score many championship points in that race. Lando Norris, who ultimately finished 7th, was in a race with Pierre Gasly ahead of him. Gasly gets to disappear off around the track because of the safety car. Norris has to wait behind Hamilton. You can't allow Norris to now be a lap behind Gasly just because somebody's crashed. Hence, Norris has to be released along with every other car that's been lapped and afforded a further lap of that safety car with which to attempt to catch the back of the pack so that he can be back on the back of Gasly. So that when the race resumes, Verstappen's on the back of Hamilton, so he can directly challenge Hamilton. Sainz is on the back of Verstappen, so he can directly challenge Verstappen. So what you have there is a dynamic where, yes, you have closed the gap on the car in front of you, enabling you to challenge, but the car behind you has closed the gap on you too. So you're also susceptible to be attacked from the car behind. That's the way it works, and that applies to every competitor in that field. That's what the regulation is there for. Hence, if you don't apply the regulation, you can't go racing. You cannot go racing with lapped cars in situ. That is a fact. Brundle will lie to you. Brundle will try to convince you, oh, they don't have to release the lap cars, but that's normally on a wet day in Belgium. Oh, they don't have to let them go around the track, but that's normally on a wet day in Belgium. All bullshit. All bullshit. Go through the regulations. Go through the regulations. There's not any caveats for allowing them to do that. As soon as you deploy the safety car, these are the mandatory regulations that must be carried out that relate to that safety car. Nobody explains them to you like that. Why? By not explaining to you, by not informing you, by not educating you, that keeps you dumb. When you are dumb, they can lie to you and get away with lying to you. They can contrive something and you will be oblivious to it. Understand that? Because that is what is happening in many facets of your life. Many facets of your life. But it's not the channel for that at this stage. Once this is dealt with, then we'll explore some of the other things that we're lied to about in life. Because there's a lot. But what we're going to do now is, in fact, actually, just before I go through, I just want to expose a little dynamic to you that I see going on. If I go to my videos on my channel, I get this screen up if it's going to load it. So this is the screen here, and what it does, it shows me my list of videos. Some of them are public, some of them are not. And when I go down here, you've got this likes versus dislikes column, right? Now, I'm not really one of these people that posts on social media with the hope of getting likes. The reason that I ask you to like it is on the grounds that the way that supposedly the mystery magical algorithm of YouTube works is if people like the videos, YouTube recommends it to more. Now, I know that YouTube is actually suppressing this content. It doesn't want this information reaching a big audience. So it's actively trying to keep this information away from people. I know what you are doing, YouTube, okay? I'm not going to be able to change that. You'll do what you do. Ultimately, you are owned by Vanguard and BlackRock, these mega rich companies that own everything. You know, they've got stakes in Liberty Media, who own Formula One. So by me exposing Formula One as being corrupt, that devalues their shareholding in Liberty Media and Formula One. They lose money. So they're not going to allow their media that they also own to expose the fraud that the sport that they own has perpetrated. So this is why my content's going to get suppressed. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. The only way it can actually grow is by you people sharing it. But what we have here is we have, like, for example, this video here, not released that long ago, 11 likes, but 1 dislike. So we've got people that subscribe to the channel just so as soon as a video is released, hey, quick as we can, hit the thumbs down. That's a really productive use of your life. Okay, must be. I'm assuming it's the same person. Okay, must be sad to be you that you subscribe to YouTube channels so that as soon as they release the video, you jump onto their channel and straight away you hit the thumbs down. I don't like this. All right. Look, good for you. Good for you. I hope you're having a lovely time. Okay. I hope you're having a lovely time. You've got a personality disorder. There's something clearly wrong with you. We go down here though. I mean, there's more than one, because the percentage here would indicate that it's more than one person hitting the thumbs down. But we've got here 55 likes, but that's only 60% of the reactions, which means 40% don't like it. So if 55 likes is 60%, 40% has got to be about, well, I don't know, best part of 40 something to 50 dislikes. What do they dislike? 2,000 people have watched it, and 40 to 50 people have disliked Pierre Gasly's audio. What's wrong with that? 40 to 50 people don't like the Pierre Gasly audio. Incredible. We'll have to have a revisit that once I'm through this series to see what they don't like about that. But again, just exposing the dynamics of this sort of thing, find it. Oh, no, hey, trolls, none of you have disliked that one. Get yourself to that one. 500, which one's that one? Is that the Ocon one? Yeah, none of you dislike that one, so you'll have to go and put the thumbs down on that one. What are we up to on this one? Alonso's one. So the Alonso one is well worth watching. 96.7. That's too complicated for the trolls. I didn't understand that one. Anyway, right, let's get into the Valtteri Bottas audio and let's go through what is going on here. Now, Valtteri Bottas' race engineer is in a position of power. He works for that Mercedes team. We are led to believe that what is going to take place, that we know is going to take place, is actually going to fuck the Mercedes team over. It's going to fuck Lewis Hamilton over, Valtteri Bottas' teammate over. So although you're the engineer for Bottas, if I was the race engineer for Bottas, I would still care about Lewis Hamilton. I would still want the guy in my team that was capable of winning the World Championship to win the World Championship. And if I knew that something was taking place that wasn't in accordance with the rules of the sport, that was going to fuck my guy over, I would absolutely say so. Not only would I absolutely say so, I'd do so in such a manner that there'd be no hiding place for these fuckers. I would say this is fucking not right. This is not allowed to take place. The reason it is not allowed to take place is those regulations are there for a purpose. Firstly, you cannot resume racing with lapped cars in situ. That is categorically not allowed. So if you are not releasing the lapped cars and are unable to release the lapped cars on lap 56, this is guaranteed to be a safety car finish. Guaranteed. If they then start fucking around, right, what are you doing now? You're not allowed to do this. Oh, they're now releasing the lapped cars. Oh, just 5 cars? Well, that's not in the regulations. You have to release all 8 of them that qualify. And it's ending and it's ending. Well, no, you're not allowed to do that. That is not valid. Whatever is taking place now is not valid. Valtteri, don't bother racing because this is invalid. Just pootle around the track, right? Because they are performing a fuckery in front of the entire world. Do you think they'd be able to get away with it then? If you said that as race engineer, and maybe people are actually tuning in, watching F1 live on the channel, and maybe they've clicked onto Valtteri Bottas's camera, and maybe they're recording it. So more people have actually got the recording of what's actually being said live. Might contain a few beeps. But I mean, Valtteri's audio didn't contain a beep when Valtteri said the fuck word, did he? So, yeah. I mean, people get offended by the use of the word fuck, but it has its place. When a fuckery is being carried out in front of our eyes, when we are all being fucked, which is what they did, then it needs calling out. The fuckers that are doing it need being called fuckers for doing it, because that's what they are. So, you're in a position of power, Bottas's race engineer. You are able to articulate to the world what is going on, what is real, what is allowed to go on. You don't do that. You don't give away anything, do you? Now, again, we are led to believe, we are conditioned in this world to believe that we must conduct ourselves as professionals. We must conduct ourselves in a professional manner. And therefore, being professional is to accept being fucked and say nothing about it. And remain reserved and thankful indeed that you're being fucked. Or you could say, fuck no, I'm not fucking having this. But again, if you're that kind of person, then I guess you end up like me, raging against the machine that's going to fuck you. Okay, that's what happens. That is what happens. But ultimately, we have to overcome. We have to overcome. Because there's people out there, many of you realise this, that all of our lives are being negatively impacted by what's going on. And unless we, and it has to be we, stand up and say no, then it's going to continue. There's a few Fugees tune, and the lyrics are similar to like, you're going to let them kick you once, they'll kick you once. You're going to let them kick you twice, they'll kick you twice. If you're going to let them kick you 3 times, they'll kick you 3 times. But if you break off the motherfucking foot, there ain't going to be no more kicking. So, this is what it has to be. We have to take action. And we will. But let's expose these bastards. Let's get this campaign bigger. Let's make more people aware. So that when we do, there's no way that they're going to be able to get away with this. They're not going to be able to silence every single last one of us. No way. So, let's go through this.
Yellow, yellow, double yellow. So staying out.
Okay, straight away. Yellow, yellow. Right. Very calm reaction when you know that you're involved in a race where you're on the verge of your number 1 driver in your team becoming a record-breaking 8-time world champion, and with 5 and a bit laps to go, there is a crash on track which you know causes massive jeopardy. Again, as race engineer, you would know the data. You would know that on average these take about 5.5 laps to resolve themselves, to get racing again. 5.5 laps are taken out of that race on average before racing can resume. So 5.4 laps remaining when for Lewis Hamilton when Latifi crashed. Quite a calm reaction from Bottas's race engineer.
Yellow, yellow, double yellow. So staying out, staying out.
Staying out, staying out. Sonoda about 8 seconds behind Bottas. Gasly a further 2.8 seconds back from then. People again that say Hamilton should have pitted. Max Verstappen 12 seconds behind Hamilton. Bottas has got 2 cars behind him within 12 seconds, doesn't pit. Why? Because if you pit and the 2 AlphaTauris don't, you've lost 2 places. So you don't lose 2 places. If this is going to be a safety car finish, track position is king.
Watch for debris.
Watch for debris. Like I say, there is a lag on these messages. How much lag are we talking about here? Because watch for debris. Again, I'm going to have to show you the... let me get to where we see this. Bottas, according to this, is at turn 16. And he's just hearing, watch for debris. Well, that's fucking useful, isn't it? So, this is Bottas coming round turn 14. Okay, there's Latifi's car on the track. And this is what is actually going on. I can't do this all the way through, but I can do tiny snippets.
Yellow, yellow, double yellow.
So yellow, yellow, double yellow. Right, okay.
So staying out.
Okay, so staying out, and this is just, again, 4-second lag. So we'd have actually got these just before.
Staying out.
Okay. There's the pit entrance.
Watch for debris.
Watch for debris. Oh, thanks for that, mate. Thanks. Again, 4 seconds before that. Well, yeah. Waste of time, that message is. Back to the video anyway. Right.
Safety car, staying out, keep the delta positive. So strut 1. So we completed lap 52. It's going to be 6 laps to the end. So just following your delta, you're ahead of the safety car.
Again, what he could be saying using his position is to say Lewis has just crossed the line and Lewis is now on his lap 54. So Lewis has got less than 5 laps to go. This is highly likely to be a safety car finish. He could be informing the world audience of that at this moment in time. I say the world audience, those that will tune into driver cams or those that will later go on to driver cams. Doesn't do that, does he? He's actually said, oh, you've got 6 laps to go. What does that give the impression? Oh, there's still a long time left in this. It still might restart okay.
So information, Lewis stayed out, Max is boxed, safety car is at turn 5.
Given the information about Lewis and Max. Now, again, informing your teammate, informing Lewis's teammate about what's going on, fair enough. But then there's no quantifying that. There's no kind of putting into context the notion, okay, Max has boxed, but doesn't really matter because it should be a safety car finish. The reason we've not boxed is that we predict this is going to be a safety car finish. It's unlikely that this race is going to resume. when Latifi's front brake catches fire, and now you can see what's going on here. All right, watch the debris. Where have you seen the debris? Oh, so you're seeing the pictures of what's going on at turn 14, so you know there's debris there. So you also know that the front brake catches fire. You also know that they use a fire extinguisher on it. Are you not saying, okay, it's now caught fire, this is going to take even longer? This means it's almost certain that it's going to be a safety car finish. But you're not informing the world of that, are you?
You're just following your delta still. So watch the debris.
That's better. Tell him to watch the debris before he's passed through where the debris is, not after the event. See, there you go. He's learning, this lad, as a race engineer. He's learning. Good lad.
So now weaving through there, you're entering the yellow.
Now, Bottas going through there. Let's show you what that looks like. So, what can we see this time round for Bottas? It's smoking, and there is no smoke without fire. So, back to the video.
Safety car at turn 11. You're still following your delta.
Valtteri, that car of Latifi's has now caught fire and they've had to use a fire extinguisher on it. How do we know that? Well, what we do here, we look at where Valtteri is. Valtteri, right? Let's just do this. Let me show you how it's done. Valtteri here, this was him going past the scene. So if I just chunk this through until he gets to going around, there he is. He's going around turn 5, which is where he was on track of view. There you go. That's going around turn 5. But Lewis Hamilton should be going round by the scene at the moment. So let's have a look at Lewis's car. Oh, shit. Look at that. It's all foggy now. The fire extinguisher has gone off. So Valtteri's race engineer should be going, Valtteri, they've let the fire extinguisher off now because the car had caught fire. This is going to take a long time, Valtteri. Oh, safety car finish. Doesn't do that though, does he? Doesn't do that. Me, I'd have been exposing to the world that shit was hitting the fan.
So safety car, start finish line.
Safety car, start finish line. No mention of the fire or the fire extinguisher or the delays that it's going to then cause in clearing up Nicholas Latifi's car and therefore the likelihood of being able to resume this race. What lap is Lewis on now? Oh, is he on lap 55 now? Yeah. Lewis is on lap 55, so it's this one and 3 more. And they need to release all these lapped cars within the next 2 laps, and if not, it's going to be a safety car finish. Did you hear that, Valtteri? They're going to need to release the lapped cars within the next 2 laps. And if they can't do that, it's going to be a safety car finish, Valtteri. That's what the regulations say, Valtteri. That's what the race engineer should be saying to inform the world that there's a fuckery taking place. Or is he equally confused by it all? There's confusion, but the race director is now saying...
Again, look for debris.
Look for debris, Valtteri, because there's just been a fire there, and there's shit everywhere.
So stay hard left. So safety car.
Let's have a look. Here we go. I'll make it nice and smooth for you all. So we go to here. That's Lewis's. We'll switch back to Valtteri. What's Valtteri? 77, isn't he? We need to go down here. There's BOTTAS. And this is Valtteri at turn 5. So we'll chunk it forward. Down to, there's 6. This is on the way down to 9. This is going around 9. This is 10. Around there. Oh, there he is. What's happening now? There's a crane on track now. Just about to try to hitch Latifi's car up. They're going to need to strap that car up, get it lifted off the ground, and then back that crane away, aren't they? Oh, there's these guys in the orange. There they are. There they are. Having a lovely time. So, back to the video. Smooth.
Is on the back straight. We are still following the delta.
See the crane on track? Be careful of the crane that's on track. Is there a vehicle on track? Getting that car out the way. Can't see. No, but I can. Careful of the crane, Valtteri. There's a crane on track, right? That's going to take a few minutes for those guys operating the crane to drive the crane on there. Once it gets there, it's got to, put the strap around Latifi's car. Obviously, making sure that the electrical unit in the car is safe, so that it's safe to touch the car and nobody's going to get electrocuted. So, they have to be careful. They have to apply caution with these things. Get that car properly strapped up so it can be lifted up, and then the crane driver reverse back off the track, back into that little cutaway that it can tuck itself in. It's going to take a while. We'll see how long it takes. We'll have a look.
Okay, now you can push and catch the safety car. So we completed 54. There's still 4 laps to go.
You're on lap 55 now, Valtteri. This one and the next one are the key laps. So fingers crossed for Lewis. If they can't release the lapped cars on this lap or the next lap, then it's going to be a safety car finish. And that car is still on track with the crane. So they need to get the car off the track. They need to sweep the debris away. They need to check the barriers. This is looking highly likely it's going to be a safety car finish, Valtteri. But obviously, if you're in on it from Mercedes, you ain't going to say that, are you? You ain't going to say that.
So safety car is at turn 9.
Fraudulent motherfuckers playing the victims. No, Michael, no, that is so not right. cock.
Can you give me update at the front? So all these Lewis tires and
so Lewis,
Max
40
and
laps
Perez.
old. The Red Bull box for soft, so the new softs.
Why did Lewis not stop?
Maybe they lost track position. There's a lot of...
What can Lewis see now? Well, Lewis can see the crane going off the track. We'll see what Valtteri can see when he goes round there, actually. See if there's any part of the crane that Valtteri can actually see.
cars lapped that will have to unlap themselves.
Absolutely right. There are a lot of cars that are lapped that will have to unlap themselves. How does that work, mate?
Why did Lewis not stop?
Maybe they lost track position. There's a lot of cars lapped that will have to unlap themselves.
They'll have to unlap themselves. Yeah, they have to carry out this procedure whereby once that track is declared safe, which might take some time, they then have to release the lapped cars, and the safety car has to remain on track for at least an additional lap beyond the lap of release to afford those released cars the opportunity of making it around and catching the back of the pack before we can even resume racing again. So it may not resume. We're on lap 55 now. We're approaching the end of it. So you've only got one more lap for which this can happen. Otherwise, it's going to be a safety car finish. And Lewis will then be on course to break that record of Schumacher and become an 8-time world champion. Absolutely right there, Valtteri's race engineer.
So field hasn't bunched yet.
Okay, Valtteri, round 14. Let's have a look what Valtteri can see. So, again, you'll see my technological skills. We'll chunk it forward in 10-second chunks. Going down to turn 6 now, round 7. On the way down to, this is 9, 10, 11. Here we are, nearly there. What can we see? Oh, what's this? There it is, look. There's the crane. There it is. Tell us what you can see, Valtteri. Is that the crane at the end of lap 55? There it is. There it is. So we'll go back to the video.
So safety car at turn 2.
Okay, lap 56, Valtteri. This is the key lap. The lapped cars have got to be released this lap, and if they're not released because they can't declare the track safe this lap, we're going to be on, of course, for a safety car finish. We're going to get Lewis Hamilton as a record-breaking 8-time world champion, and we're going to be constructors champions for a record-breaking 8th year. Celebrate good times, come on.
So it looks like Perez has retired from the race.
Perez, Red Bull have just retired Perez, so that's bumped you up a place, Valtteri. Interesting. Don't know why you'd do that. I don't know why you'd retire your guy out of third place in a safety car situation where it could be a safety car finish. It's looking like it's going to be a safety car finish. And all you've got to do is keep that car ticking over for another couple of laps and you got a podium. It's a bit strange. What's going on here? What's going on here, Red Bull? Let me know what you think in the comments section, Red Bull.
So lap cars may now overtake. You got Schumacher right behind you, and then you got Tsunoda behind. He's on new soft.
Oh, so the lapped cars can now overtake. Okay. Sounds normal. Sounds normal. Race engineer, are you looking at the track? You know the footage that you've got of the track, because you're telling him that you can say, well, there's debris on the track. Watch the debris. After he's passed there, like, yeah, mind the debris that was there when you passed it. Are you looking at the marshals that are on the track right now? Are you? Michael Massey has just said that the lapped cars can now overtake, but no, that's not allowed because the track's not safe yet. There's still marshals sweeping up. Michael, what are you doing? You can't release the lapped cars yet. There's still men on track. You can't do that. I say men, they might be women, or one or two of them might. Marshals, let's refer to them as marshals where possible. There's still marshals on the track. You cannot release the lapped cars yet, Michael. What are you doing, Michael?
So Sainz ahead, harder tyre, 11 laps older than yours, that's for the podium. And Fred wants another behind on soft. So lap cars will not be allowed to overtake.
So lapped cars will not be allowed to overtake. What's he doing now? Well, I'll tell you what he's doing now, because I've worked this out. I've told him he's not allowed to release the lapped cars yet because there's men on the track and there's marshals on the track, sorry. And there's still marshals on the track. Valtteri, they're not releasing the lapped cars yet because it's not safe to release them yet. But be aware, it's still possible between now and the end of this lap that they might release those lapped cars. If they do, then we're still in for a racing lap 58. But if they don't manage to do it this lap because of them marshals being on the track, well, we could get a safety car finish, Valtteri.
So it looks like they're going to restart the race like this.
Why would it look like that, Mercedes? Why would it look like that? Talk me through which regulation that abides by. Oh, there isn't one. So why would you say it? You, the Mercedes team that is being actively fucked over now, why would you be complicit with that? Why would you accept that? Oh, it's because all the teams agreed beforehand that they can break the rules to contrive this ending. That's a fraud. That's a fraud that you, the victims, the so-called victims, you just rolled over and go, okay, we'll be complicit with that fraud. We'll let you fuck us. We'll let you fuck Lewis Hamilton, actually, because we'll still get our $177 million for winning the Constructors' Championship. So really, the only guy that gets fucked is Lewis Hamilton. And actually, maybe Toto doesn't have to pay him his bonus for winning his record-breaking 8th World Championship. Oh, we'll all do all right out of that. Toto will maybe buy a round of drinks at the party tonight if that happens.
So it looks like they're going to restart the race like this.
Why would it look like that? You're not allowed to resume the race with lapped cars in situ. Look at what's happened here, Valtteri. Right behind Lewis Hamilton is Lando Norris, this orange dot that you can see on track view. I know you can't see track view, Valtteri, but I can. I'm your race engineer and I can see this. Right behind Lewis Hamilton is Lando Norris, and now that Perez has mysteriously retired, don't know why they've done that, but now that Perez is retired, Norris is in 7th position. The car that he should be able to challenge on a restart is 6th place Gasly. Gasly is now all the way around the track at the end of this safety car snake, when previously, before Latifi stuffed it into the barrier there mysteriously, previously Lando was actually closer to Pierre Gasly than Max was to Lewis. So you cannot let a safety incident interfere with everybody's races in a non-uniform manner. The only way you can go racing again is to restore sporting fairness to every single competitor so that all of the previously built up advantages are wiped out for everybody and we resume racing with a line of cars in the correct race order with all the previously built up advantages wiped out. That's the only way you can do this, Valtteri. But they're now proposing that we might go racing like this. This is a fuckery, Valtteri. What's going on here, Valtteri? If they try to resume racing like this, Valtteri, I suggest you just, in protest, stop your car. Yes, that's not cheating, Valtteri. That is declaring that this is no longer valid, and therefore we stop participating from this moment in time because it is no longer valid. That's what you could do. You shouldn't crash. That makes you as bad as Crashgate. That makes you as bad as Flavio Briatore, the corrupt bastard that actually, he's a lifetime ban from Formula One for being a corrupt, cheating bastard. We'll let Flavio back into the sport again. Firstly as a consultant to the FIA, because they really need help with corruption, don't they? And now we'll let him be part of the Alpine team. What part of lifetime ban don't you understand? But then there's rules and there's flexi rules. Depends who the rules apply to and who they don't. Depends how much money's involved, doesn't it? Is that the same for every single one of us, or is that just the elite? Yeah. Who are laws really made for? Let me know what you think in the comments section. If you've got enough money, you can get the right sort of justice, can't you? Oh, yes. Yes. Justice for those that can afford it.
That's interesting.
Indeed, Valtteri. That's interesting. Why would it be interesting, Valtteri? You see, Valtteri, I get the impression that Valtteri Bottas is a decent guy. Don't know him, but I get that impression. I think that's his way of calling it out. Maybe he should have been more forthright, but maybe that's not his character. Who knows? But I think he's fairly straight talking. I think. That's interesting. That's quite telling. That's interesting. Well, that means, but it should have been more explicit. That's not allowed. That's not allowed. But again, Valtteri had been in this meeting whereby it was proposed to all the teams and all the drivers that where possible, we'll seek to have a racing finish. Okay, but you're not allowed to break the rules. You can't break the rules to contrive an ending. But you've already sown the seed in everybody's head. Where possible, they're going to try and get a racing finish. So they're going to do this just to try to get a racing finish. Nobody's checked themselves. Nobody's stopped to go, well, yeah, but you're not allowed to do that. Yes, I understand the desire for a racing finish, but you can't break the rules to manufacture that. If the situation is, if the circumstances are, well, you just can't, then you just can't. You can't fuck around with things just to construct something. That's not how it works. This is a sport, therefore you have to carry out these procedures before you do that. And if you can't carry out the procedures, you just can't go racing.
So Sainz ahead on the hard for the podium, and Tsunoda and Gasly behind the soft, the softs.
Hamilton turning turn 14 at the moment, Valtteri, and there's still marshals on the track. That's the reason why they didn't release the lapped cars. And now, being this so close to the end of the lap, then they're not going to be able to release those lapped cars on lap 56, which means the earliest they can do it is lap 57, which means the safety car will return to the pits at the end of the following lap. That lap being lap 58. And if it returns to the pits at the end of lap 58, that means it's a safety car finish. Just keep your fingers crossed that Lewis can keep that car on the track for the next 2 laps, Valtteri, and he doesn't suffer a puncture or mechanical failure. And your teammate's going to break the world record. And the guy that is beating you in this team, well, is the all-time great of the sport. So that's not bad for you, is it? When you know you're up against the all-time great of the sport, Valtteri, then it's no disgrace for the kind of performance that you've actually contributed to the team for the period of time you've been here.
So safety car is still staying out. So we...
Of course it's still fucking staying out. You've just come by turn 14 and the marshals have jumped over the track. Jumped over the barriers. The clerk of the course can't declare the track safe whilst there's marshals still on the track, so he wouldn't have declared the track safe immediately. Checks his barriers, radioed round all the marshalling sectors, got the all clear from them. Are we all clear in each sector? Yeah, we're all good. Okay, completed my checks, make sure everything's okay. Track's clear, barriers good, rest of the track's good. I'll hand back to race control. Race control, you've now got to perform the regulation, which is to release those lapped cars. Oh, the earliest they'll get past that leader in the safety car is now on to lap 57. Safety car finish. Safety car
completing
finish.
lap 56. There's 2 laps to go.
Yeah, safety car finish now, mate. 2 laps to go.
So you got Schumacher behind his lapped car, and ahead of Sainz is Stroll.
Yeah, you got Schumacher behind. He's a lapped car. He's got to be released before we go racing. And then, once he's released, well, the safety car will return to the pits at the end of the following lap. Safety car finish, Valtteri. See, they could have said this a lot of times. They've got to do a lot of changing the audio, haven't they? They've got to delete the whole audio track, haven't they? So for it not to be revealed to the world, the fuckery that's taking place. Or you could be complicit with it and you could just say exactly what the Mercedes race engineer is saying. You could just be the professional Mercedes race engineer who calmly talks Valtteri through Lewis Hamilton getting fucked. Yes, you've just got Mick Schumacher behind you, Valtteri.
Which is also lap down. So work out their tyres. If he goes, it will be this lap or never. So work out their tyres. If he goes, it will be this lap or never.
If he goes, it will be this lap or never. Well, even if they release him this lap, they've still got to give him the chance to make it round to the back of the safety car stand. It's a safety car finish. Why are you coming up with a notion it'll be this lap or never? You're still giving your driver the message that there still might be some sort of race to take place. No, not allowed. Why are you saying that? Why are you priming your driver up that there still might be some sort of race? Why are you giving out a message that the rest of the world could hear, making them think that you think there could still be some sort of race going on here? Why are you not calling out that there can't be any form of race now taking place?
So there are 5 back markers between Lewis and Verstappen.
Irrelevant, mate. Because before you go racing, you can't have any back markers between Lewis and Max. You can't have any back markers between Max and Carlos Sainz. And actually, you can't have any back markers between Valtteri Bottas and Yuki Tsunoda. You call them back markers. Well, actually, the back marker, the car that's 2 cars behind Valtteri Bottas, Pierre Gasly, in the race, is he a back marker, or is he 6th? And able to challenge and overtake Valtteri Bottas. Well, yeah, he's actually 6th and able to challenge and overtake Valtteri Bottas, isn't he? What about the car directly behind him? Does that make the car directly behind Gasly a back marker? Or is that another car that's also in the race that wants to challenge Gasly and may even be able to challenge Bottas if his tyres are that good? If Gasly can overtake Bottas, who's 2 cars ahead of him, 3 cars ahead of him, why can't the car behind Gasly also do that? Where's he? Oh, he's just a back marker. Where's he? Well, he's a lap behind now. Well, why is that? You're not allowed to do that. Norris, the orange dot, has got to be able to challenge Gasly, the grey dot. He's left a lap behind. You've got to release Norris and all the other 8 all the other 7, 8 including Norris, and give them the time to make it around the track and to get to behind that position behind Gasly, so that when we restart, everybody's got the same chance of challenging the car in front, but also being susceptible to being challenged from the car that's behind them, wanting to challenge them. Why don't you tell us this, Mercedes race engineer? Why don't you tell us how the safety car rules work, how the sport works? Or are you just saying what you're allowed to say based on the agreements that Mercedes have made? I have served, I will be of service. Yes, I will just comply with the narrative and take the paycheck. Comply with the narrative, take the paycheck. Comply with the narrative, take the paycheck. Spineless motherfuckers, every single last one of you.
Okay, good. Let me know if you want me to risk for the podium.
Let me know if you want to risk. Well, I don't know what you're trying to risk there. Risk what? Let me know if you want me to trying to overtake Sainz. Well, you're a racing driver, aren't you? We pay you to race your car. Okay, we're not in a position now, Valtteri, whereby the Constructors' Championship is in jeopardy. Okay, so on some races we might say, okay, don't bother risking an overtake. It's better off just collecting the points from where you are, because risking an overtake could take you out of the race and lose us the points that are valuable to us. It's not one of them situations. Constructors' Championship was confirmed when Perez retired. You went into this race with a 28-point lead, and Red Bull take one of their cars out of the way, meaning they can only achieve 26 points, even if Hamilton's out and Bottas is out, and Max wins with a bonus fastest lap point. You still win the championship by 2 points. So Valtteri, yeah, try and get on the podium, lad. That'll look good for the global marketing of the Mercedes brand. When all of the world's eyes are watching us, the biggest audience this world has ever seen, this sport has ever seen, to have 2 Mercedes cars on there, first and third, that would be incredible. Although actually, Valtteri, no, we shouldn't be racing. We shouldn't be racing at all. We won't be racing, Valtteri. We're on lap 57, mate. They've got to release their lapped cars, and then they've got to keep the safety car on track. So I don't know what we were talking about. I got carried away there, Valtteri. I got carried away, didn't I? I got carried away, with you saying, do you want me to race this guy? There won't be a race, Valtteri.
I guess we have not much to lose, or?
We've got nothing to lose. Red Bull had nothing to lose either, Valtteri. We've got nothing to lose. Well, yeah, you have. You can't go racing. If you set it up for a race, well, what are you going to lose? Oh, you're going to lose Lewis's championship.
It's only 1 lap, so there's an opportunity.
It's only 1 lap. What are you talking about? they've not released the lapped cars. And even if they do release the lapped cars, safety car will return to the pits at the end of the following lap. Once the last lapped car has passed the leader, the safety car will return to the pits at the end of the following lap. I'll tell you what, Valtteri, what I'll do here, I'll just get the regulations out and I'm going to read them out to you. 48.12. You know, what's the race engineer doing? Nothing. Why did Mercedes rock up to the track with a so-called barrister when there's no judge there? Who's the barrister performing to? Not there to a court, is it? It's not a court. Because Derek fucking Warwick, the great white fucking hope, right? Well, you know, what's the point in having a barrister put his wig and his cape on and take, oh, Derek Warwick, I put it to you, and give his big fucking charade performance. Doesn't give a fuck. He's not a judge. Why would you send in a barrister into an appeal that's not a judicial process? Oh, to make the watching public think that something official is taking place. Ah, see what you've done there, Mercedes. See what you've done there.
So now is allowing the people to overtake, so lap cars will now be allowed to overtake, so look out for Schumacher.
Yeah, they're going to let the lap cars through, so watch out. Schumacher's going to go by you. But it's irrelevant, Valtteri, because once the last lapped car has passed the leader, the safety car will return to the pits at the end of the following lap. This is going to be, we're on lap 57 now. The following lap's lap 58, end of race. Safety car finish, Valtteri. Safety car finish, mate. You won't need to race.
Safety car in this lap, so there will be one lap of racing.
Safety car in this lap, so there'll be one lap of racing. Is this, again, the kind of communication you'd expect from an employee of the team that is getting fucked? No. No, Michael, no. This is so not right. What the fuck is going on here? This isn't okay. This isn't allowed to happen. Valtteri, they are trying to fuck Lewis by breaking the rules. We're not going to allow that, Valtteri. Stop your car. We'll stop this fuckery right now.
It'll be strat 5, you have overtake on both straights. Safety car at 12. Safety car at 13. Safety car at turn 14. Safety car is at turn 15. So strat 5. Safety.
Stop your car, Valtteri. They're performing a fuckery. Stop the car. And stop it on track. They're breaking the rules, and therefore will highlight to the world that they are breaking the rules. Don't interfere with any other driver. Make sure you're out of the way of them so that you're not impeding them and they don't crash into you. Just stop your car on the track. They cannot go racing with a vehicle stranded on the track. Put the handbrake on and your hazard warnings, you know. Maybe get the warning triangle out and put that 50 metres behind your car. Just stop your car.
Car is 16. We're racing. You have plenty of overtake.
And we're racing. Really? Really, Mercedes? And we're racing, aren't we? You were bent over touching your toes for that one, weren't you, lads? Yeah, you were. No resistance whatsoever. No resistance whatsoever. Just remained there calmly and let them take a run up, you know, just like any professional would. You think it's professional? Enabling corruption? Do you think it's professional to not call out corruption? Do you think it's professional to not defend your team, your company from malice, from cheating, from fraud, from corruption? Oh, yeah, but we need to be professional, don't we? Fuck that. Professional is doing the right thing. Professional is having the integrity to stand up and do what is necessary for the right thing to prevail. But this lad's proven that he's served and will be of service. He's probably got a promotion. You know, he's probably done all right out of this. Oh yeah, lifetime job working for the Mercedes team. Living the dream. Well, it won't be a lifetime job because all those fraudulent entities, you're going to get found out, lads, and you're going to be drilled out of the sport. This is how it's going to be. This is how it's going to be, and your lives are going to ever be tainted by what you've done. You've got to live with yourselves. You've got to live with yourselves knowing you are part of the biggest global fraud, defrauding 108.7 million people out of a sporting contest, depriving a man out of a record-breaking accomplishment. Your own man. That's how filthy you are. That's how filthy you are, Mercedes.
So that's P6. Unfortunately, Verstappen got Lewis on.
Unfortunately, Verstappen got Lewis. Is that how you'd react if you were Valtteri Bottas' race engineer and you saw what had just happened to Lewis Hamilton? Oh, and unfortunately, let's just go back. Yeah.
So that's P6. Unfortunately, Verstappen got Lewis on that.
Unfortunately, Verstappen got Lewis. Would you react like that? Because I wouldn't.
Last lap.
Well, fuck. Shit!
That's more like it, Valtteri. That's more like it. What the fuck is that all about? That's not allowed to happen. We're not allowed to go racing like that. That's never been done like that since 2012 when they reintroduced these regulations. Ever since the beginning of the 2012 seasons, we've had to do this. There's a reason why we've had to do this. This has been explained to us by Charlie Whiting back then. What are they doing now? That's not allowed to happen. They've just rigged that. They've just set that up for Max. That's a fraud.
Well, thank you for what you've done all these years.
I knew, he needed new tyres.
We won the constructors, and
Valtteri, you didn't know that he needed new tyres. The tyres are irrelevant. There shouldn't have been any more racing. So therefore, Lewis being on hards and Max being on softs makes no difference when it's a safety car finish, does it? When it's a safety car finish, he can have the best tyres in the world. and he still can't go any faster than Lewis can go, because he's got to stay behind him in that safety car, Snake, not being able to overtake him. You know, just like the Belgian parade, which they tell you Max won. You know, just like that, where, you know, you're not allowed to overtake. So therefore, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. But in Belgium, no race ever took place. The race didn't even start. At least in Abu Dhabi, we saw 53 laps of a race where Lewis was smashing the rest of the field. You know, we wanted to see a race. Yeah, you saw one. One guy was smashing everybody by over 12 seconds. Yeah, you saw that race. And then that race got neutralised because somebody crashed. Some twat crashed. And that neutralised it and fucked everything up for everybody. But then we didn't have time to clear everything up in time to be able to resume the race. So the race declaration, the declared result is that running order behind that safety car. That's the way motor racing works. And if you don't like it, jog on. It's not for you. Okay, go and watch another sport. Maybe you'd be more interested in badminton or ping pong. Maybe the darts. Maybe snooker. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you like seeing these motorbikes driving along and doing jumps over fucking canyons or something. Whatever it is you enjoy, go and watch that. But this is Formula One, and this is how Formula One works.
Thank you for everything on behalf of the whole team. So strap 1 and chassis default 77. So pick up rubber where you can.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for everything in the 5 years.
Is this lad's, this race engineer George Russell's race engineer now? You know, you should have been telling George Russell this at the Belgian parade this year at Spa. You know, the one where you shafted Lewis Hamilton again, where you put George on a different strategy just to try and beat Lewis and not tell Lewis that that's what you're actually doing. And then you were too busy whooping because you'd fucked Lewis that you forgot to tell him to pick up extra rubber on those tyres, and he then ended up underweight. Shame that. Shame.
It's been a pleasure. Sorry it ended like this, but thank you.
So you're coming into the pits.
There wasn't anything else of any note in the remainder of that audio. But I hope you can realise, if you are in that position of being a race engineer, what you say can get heard. That essentially gives you the platform to be able to call out what is right and what is wrong. And that will hit people. And what do every one of these race engineers do? They're complicit with the rule breaking. So what does that demonstrate? That evidence is that not one of them has called out and articulated to anybody that what is taking place is entirely wrong. and is not in accordance with the rules and regulations of the sport. And to be complicit with the rules and regulations of the sport being broken in the manufacturing of that last lap, for all of them to be doing that demonstrates that they were all complicit, compliant, and that some sort of agreement had taken place. That's not allowed. That's a fraud. And you will all be going down for it. There is a statute of limitations, 6 years, for the action to be taken. So if it takes that, it will take that. It shouldn't take as long as that. But we just need to get more people to actually see it and understand it, just to protect ourselves before actually taking these corrupt fuckers on. But we will get there. We will get there. And in the same way that Crashgate, if anybody would have suggested that Crashgate was a contrivance before PK Jr. revealed to the world that he'd been instructed to crash, then they'd have laughed at you and called you a conspiracy theorist. Ha ha, this guy says that PK Jr. crashed on purpose. Ha 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 ha. Look at this crazy dude telling you that PK Jr.'s telling you that he crashed on purpose. Oh, Briatore's going to get his lawyers and he's going to sue you for saying that PK Jr. crashed up. Yeah, but PK Jr. crashed on purpose. Yeah, you better not say that, as Briatore's going to get his corrupt lawyer to sue you for saying that. Yeah, but PK Jr. crashed on purpose. Oh, yeah. Shh. Yeah, I better not say anything. Actually, we've got to pay PK Jr., haven't we? We're the one. Briatore, yeah, you with your corrupt fucker of a lawyer that you were going to try and set onto people like a fucking dog and threaten people, saying, oh, if you try and say that I've done wrong, then I'll come at you with my lawyer. Fuck you. No, you're wrong. You're all fraudulent. The evidence is there that you're fraudulent. You committed a fraud. You can have any fucking lawyer you like. You're not going to disprove fraud. You've all been complicit with breaking the rules of the sport. That's a fraud. We call that let them no, fuck off, Wheatley. It's a fraud. It's not what you call it. You've sold this world, this entity, as a sport. That sport has rules and regulations. You break that to contrive something within that sport. That's a fraud. That's a fraud. You've defrauded us all. You filthy bastards, every single last one of you. Every single last one of you. And there will be consequences. This is going to be the legacies of so many people within that shit show. That corrupt shit show. So many people, their lifetime legacy is going to be this shit show. So people that want to laud the likes of fucking Adrian Newey, that one that went to the corrupt stewards appeal where Mercedes sent in their fake ass barrister. Yeah, that one. Yeah. All part of the show. All part of the show. Anyway, that'll do on this one. Thank you for your time.